Hello and welcome to another video on this channel. I still have a cold, and since I'm stuck at home with a cold, I'm just filming a little bit. So I thought that I would make a short video about what my reading plans are for this summer. Because right now I have nothing to do else other than think. So there are a couple of classics that I want to read this summer. I'm not gonna show every single book, just like a couple to get across what I'm talking about. So among the classics that I want to read this summer are, for example, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Never read it, which I think is a little bit sacrilegious, so it's time that I do. Among with most of the classics, I'm like not doing my best. And then I thought, well, since I'm reading Dorian Gray, The Picture of Dorian Gray, there should be other classics that I want to read. For example, Wilkie Collins' A Woman in White. Don't know what I expected with it, but I did not expect it to be this thick. On top of that, the letters are rather small, and I'm like, well, this is the type of book that is perfect to read in the summertime because we have, hopefully, a lot of sunlight to read. This would be the devil to read in the wintertime. It's also like over 600 pages long, so a lot of pages. Along with classics, or other classics, I am reading my way through Agatha Christie because I'm on a Christie binge, and these books are absolutely wonderful to read. I think just since I got my little cold, I've actually finished 3 of them. So Agatha Christie is wonderful to read when you're feeling under the weather. So I'm aiming to read quite a bit of Agatha Christie this summer. Fairly quick reads, and I do love the stories. I've never read The Murder at the Vicarage. I think it's it's the first Miss Marple mystery. Nice. Another first for me, I've never read Dorothy Sayers. So I'm gonna start with the first one, Whose Body, which is the first of the Lord Peter Wimsey series. And then I want to read a bit of like thriller and horror this summer, because Lord knows I'm not reading that in the wintertime. So one book I've seen on a lot of bookshelves with on BookTube is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. I haven't really heard anyone talk about this book. Really quite thick, I would say. It is, honestly, are you kidding me? Yeah, it's about the same length, I think, as The Woman in White. Lovely. 617 pages, and it does have some lovely pictures right throughout, and I'm honestly quite fascinated by that. Lovely. And then I came across Dolly Parton and James Patterson's book, Run Rose Run. Got from Waterstones. Some thriller, I believe. Find a future, lose a past, sees a star on the rise, singing about the hard life behind her. She's also on the run. Nashville is where she's come to claim her destiny. It's also where the darkness he's fled might find her and destroy her. So, honestly, I haven't heard anyone talk about this book. Literally just came across it on Waterstones, and it has James Patterson and Dolly Parton. I'm like, might as well. And a bit of a Christina Henry binge. Came across her Alice series and fascinated by it, so I bought those 3 books. Alice, the Red Queen, and Looking Glass. I think this is actually a collection of short stories. And I hadn't, like I said, I hadn't read any of these so far. I've flipped through, and the atmosphere seems to be creepy and not quite the type of book I've read so far, or you know, been in the habit of reading, but it's a rewrite of Alice in Wonderland, and some of the scenes that I come across, I'm like, that is disturbing, and I really want to read it. So, like, there's a walrus and oysters, and I'm like, a bit anxious about the subject material because it is dark, but at the same time, really excited for it. And came across this one as well, Near the Bone, and this just seems to be a lovely, creepy, horrific story, and don't know what my mindset is gonna be in autumn if I manage to finish all these books, because I do have these and more. Continuing with the horror, this is Andre Bjerke, The Lake of the Dead, a Norwegian classic. Let's see. That has a 1942 classic that has been voted Norway's all-time best thriller. A brilliant mix of mystery and the supernatural. So, I mean, I cannot read Norwegian, so the fact that it's in English, it is very intriguing, and I am excited about reading this. I honestly don't know what to expect with this book. And then we come to like books that a lot of people read like last year and then in previous years, but I just wasn't in the mood to read a lot, particularly last year. Last year was not a reading year, this year is my reading year. So got a little selection. I've got Michelle Zauner's Crying in H-Mart, Ocean Wong, On Earth We're Bravely Gorgeous, which I'm extremely excited about, and Claire Chambers' Small Pleasures. Love these braid edges. And I also want to challenge myself to read romance this year, because I'm not really a romance reader, but there are so many interesting stories that people talk about that are romantic, so I want to try and read them. So I decided to, in particular in June, I am setting myself some reading challenges with like themes, and because June is Pride Month, that will be my challenge to read books with like queer characters. So I'm gonna try and read Plain Bed Herons that month. And have a suspicion about Small Pleasures. Like, no one said anything, but don't know. I don't know. But my main challenge, sweet challenge, is like, for example, reading In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. It's queer romance, kind of fancy, with pirates and royals, so, or royalty. So hopefully this will be something for me. And Alice Oseman's Lawless, the one and only romance that features an Arrow Ace main character. I need this book. So again, it's a bit hefty. Like, I don't really go for hefty books, but apparently that's another challenge for me this year, is reading books that are more than 300 pages long. Like, yeah, so as said, this is one of my reading challenges for June. It will be more of the LGBTQ plus main characters. There are quite a few of romance novels in there, so that's one challenge, that's romance. Another challenge is thriller, and third challenge is horror. It was a little bit hard to think when you got a bit of a fever, so I think I'm doing a pretty good job. So that is my summer reading this year. It will be classics. I'm gonna try to read Oscar Wilde's The Picture in Dorian Gray. I want to read, try and read like Rebecca, The Great Gatsby, by choice, because I read it when I at school when I was a teenager, and when you have to read something as a teenager then it's not that fun. I also got like Alice in Wonderland, which I got because of these books. Like I read them years ago, the original stories, so I kind of want to read the original story and then whether it's before or after that trilogy is gonna be fun. Also got Peter Pan, because I've noticed that there are some retellings of or rewritings of stories inspired by Peter Pan, and I think that would be another interesting challenge, would be to read like the classic tale and then select stories inspired by the classic story, like reading Alice in Wonderland and then reading like Christina Henry's trilogy, or reading Peter Pan and then reading some of the, well, for example, Christina Henry's Peter Pan story and some others that I've seen. I do also want to, just continue to challenge myself, like reading the romance. There are quite a few. Continue reading Agatha Christie, because always good. And then reading some of the stories that have been popular throughout the, like last year. I want to challenge myself to read Malibu Rising, because I generally don't lean towards books that are popular. I've just found that with popular books, they just don't really appeal to me, so one of the challenges will be to try my best to read popular books. So yeah, I hope I can figure out how to make this vlog make sense. I think I'm coming back down with a fever. So yeah, that is my reading summer reading challenge this year. Well, at least a few of them. I'm gonna try and read quite a bit in this summer. I've got a summer vacation coming up in about a month's time, and because I've been at my work for so long, I've got a lot of days in, so I should be able to hopefully read quite a bit this summer and maybe make myself some challenge videos. I have tentative plans about what I would like to read for self-imposed challenges, and just try and find out if that works out for me this. So yeah, but yeah, thank you for watching this video, and hopefully there's something else on this channel that you would like. If so, good. But yeah, I'm gonna call this short and get myself something nice and warm to drink, because I need it. Yeah, again, thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you in some other. Wait, did I say that already? Yeah, anyway, see you later. Bless.